Did I become a coward?
Oh, nobody really thinks she's a coward. It's Yael Naim on Israel Hour Radio, 88.7 WRSU. And I am so excited to talk to her. She is one of the biggest superstars, musical superstars in France. She's well known all over the world. Yael Naim, welcome to the Israel Hour.
Hello, everybody.
So nice to talk to you. So, Yael, I'm going to start off with a question that I'm sure you're sick of answering at this point, that you've been asked so many times, probably in every interview you do. But tell me the story of New Soul and what it did for your career, because that's how many of us got to know you in the first place.
Well, it's a strange story because we were at the time, I was going from a difficult period. And New Soul was the first time I was starting to feel good about life and about the fact that, things will not happen the way I thought they would. And so the song was, I wrote this song. And then with David, we were recording our album that was not very, it didn't have a lot of chance to be released. We didn't really think it would ever be released. And anyway, one thing led to another, and this album was released in France at one point. And I don't know how, but Apple got to hear this song, New Soul, on one radio in LA, and they contacted the label. It's an independent label in France, and asked to use the song. And in one day, like in one night, suddenly the song became number one all over the world, and we were still even not starting the tour in France. It was like really the beginning, still sitting in a small apartment in Paris and recording our music like in an independent way. So it was like a kind of magic thing.
So you still, all these years later, have no idea how Steve Jobs or Apple, the people at Apple, got their hands on this song to play it in a commercial?
I know one of the guys from Apple heard it on the radio in LA, but I don't really know how this song got to play in this radio in LA.
That's amazing. And how the song did very, very well. Top 10 in the U.S.?
Well, yeah, it was number one.
Wow.
I think in iTunes, and number 7 in Billboard. And it got to be like number one selling in a lot of other countries. So yes, it was crazy, and all this in a few days.
And from what I understand, you're the only Israeli to make it into the top 10 in the radio airplay in the U.S. Is that correct?
Yeah, I even think this kind of story in the Billboard didn't really happen the way it did for us. Because the physical album was not even released when we became number one of iTunes in a few days and 7 in Billboard. So I think this kind of things. Anyway.
Well, it's pretty amazing. Kol hakavod to you. That's really wonderful. And that album that New Soul was on, you were singing a number of songs in English, a number of songs in Hebrew. How is it that an Israeli singer becomes such a huge star in France? We're about to play the song from you after our interview. We're going to play Ima, which is a song partially in Hebrew, partially in English, partially in Creole. How does an Israeli get to be so popular in France? What do you think is the secret?
I don't really feel it was... I don't know how to explain this, because there was a number of things happening. Like, I was in France in 4 years, but I suddenly felt the need to write in Hebrew. So there was 8 songs in Hebrew, ballads, and 5 little songs in English. But the people like David that started to do this album with me, and which became our music, the people who started to want to help me about this music didn't have any relation with the Jewish culture or with the fact to be Israeli, and they didn't even understand the lyrics. So suddenly, it was just about, and this is what I love about Paris, the fact that people from different culture can meet, and in the same way that I can listen to music that comes from Brazil or to listen to Ali Farka Touré without understanding the lyrics and still loving it. I love the fact that the first people who helped me were just touched by, I don't know, something inside the music without any connection to where I come from and what the lyrics were about. So it was about being open to each other and communicating around music.
But these days you're not singing in Hebrew as much as you used to, correct?
No, in fact, it was the first time I ever wrote in Hebrew. I think after my first 4 years in Paris, I felt like I was cut from everything I knew before, because I was raised in Israel from 4 years old to 21, and I felt an emotional need to reconnect myself, and through the writing I found kind of balance. And since I'm a child, since I'm 11 years old, I always wrote in English. So I guess I found some kind of peace, and after it I began to write again much more in English than in Hebrew, even if it still happens that I write in Hebrew.
All right, so we just played the song "Coward," and I told everybody in our audience to check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/Israel Hour, because I just posted the video of you singing "Coward" in what I think was called a vocal flash mob. It was pretty amazing in a mall. Tell me the story of "Coward" and recording that video.
Well, "Coward" was born in a period where I was suddenly I was going through a big change in my life, and I guess I was very afraid from this change. I mean, I think I'm afraid of any change in life. And I suddenly realized that I'm ready to just run really quick, as far as possible from this change, because I was really panicked. And so this whole process brought me to feel that I'm becoming really a coward. I'm doing the wrong choice. And I think writing this song helped me going through and this period and going into what made me scared the most, and finally be very happy. And at one point we wanted to do like a flash mob and around this song and see what happens if more than 100 people join us one after the other in a public place and start to sing this. And so during the summer, we made a call on the internet, and we called to people who can sing to come and join us at certain date. And so it's people we don't really know. So it's people from all the kind of ages. It can be young people, older people. And we found ourselves like suddenly the day before trying it only once, and then coming to this big hall and playing it for the first time all together.
Yeah, the result is pretty amazing. Just watching the video, it's very cool. People are coming out of everywhere. How many people did you say were involved?
Yeah, more than 100, maybe 130, around 130. And it was just amazing to be in the middle. I was in the center of this, and the voices started to sing all over, like you said, and getting closer and closer until at the end they really surround me. I can't describe this feeling, to be inside of this massive vocal thing.
Yeah, you really have. Our listeners really need to check it out. Facebook.com/Israel Hour. It's a pretty amazing experience on Yael's video for Coward. Yael, you are coming to the United States. We're very happy about that. You're doing a concert in Philadelphia on December 6th at the World Cafe Live in Philadelphia. Then on December 7th and 8th at the Highline Ballroom in New York City. What can your fans expect to see Yael Naim in concert in the United States? What do you have in store?
We really like to create an intimacy with the people, and our music today is a mix between my classical background and David's jazz and pop background. And so, I mean, there is one artist who is really one of my biggest inspiration, the way she is on stage and the way she allowed herself to let go of feeling, which is Nina Simone. And I really loved her connection with the piano. And so when we come to the US, we come with the trio, which is David, Donatien, Daniel on the bass, and myself on piano and guitar. And we really try to create this kind of connection between ourselves and between the people. So, we can expect an emotional connection.
And since we're an Israeli music show, for those in our audience, well, I'm sure they'd like to know, will you be singing anything in Hebrew?
Yes, of course.
Okay, good to know. Well, if anybody is interested in seeing Yael Naim, I'm sure it'll be a phenomenal show. She is fantastic. Her voice is great. Her playing is great. You will love it. I know her website is yaelnaim.fr. Click on English and you can find out all the information on her tour dates and how to get tickets. Yael Naim, Naim.fr. Yael, tell me more before we let you go. Tell me what's next for your career. What have you been working on and what should we expect from you in the near future?
There is one thing, but I can't reveal it. That will be revealed in 1 week, which is very nice.
Oh, wow.
But you'll see it in 1 week. So for the people who check the Facebook and Instagram, check it out. But then we are starting one new album very soon after the US tour, because it's been more than 2 years that we are on the road for this album for Older. So starting to record and to have maybe surprising collaboration with artists that we love.
All right. Well, and it sounds like the big announcement. She's not going to tell us, but we have to wait. So we'll be checking you out on Facebook and Instagram and all those things to find out the details.
Okay, cool.
So, Yael, thank you so much for joining us. We are so glad to have the chance to speak with you and looking forward to seeing you Philadelphia, New York City. Check out yaelnaim.fr, yaelnaim.fr. Yael, thank you so much for joining us on Israel Hour Radio.
Thank you very much. Thank you. See you all soon.